What if I told you the future of air combat could cross America in minutes, vanish from radar, and outthink any human pilot? Sounds like science fiction, but it's already being built. The Pentagon is testing concepts. China has prototypes. Russia says theirs will arrive by 2035. These aren't fighter jets as we know them. The seventh generation is coming. Machines so advanced they'll make the F-35 and even Boeing's new F-47 look like relics in a museum. The global race for air dominance has entered an entirely new era. While headlines obsess over the F-35's flaws or Boeing's $20 billion F-47 contract, engineers worldwide are secretly working on something far more revolutionary: aircraft that could render today's fighters obsolete overnight. Here's the truth about what's unfolding in military aviation. The F-35 represents the height of 5th-gen tech. The F-47, awarded in March 2025, promises to be the first 6th-gen jet. But by the time it flies, 7th-gen systems may already be in the sky. So what makes them different? Imagine the leap from World War II fighters to the F-35. Now imagine an even bigger gap. Speed is just the start. Today's fighters peak around Mach 2. 7th-gen designs aim for sustained hypersonic flight, Mach 5 and beyond, more than 3,800 miles per hour. At that speed, a jet could cross the US in under an hour. But velocity is only part of the story. These aircraft will use quantum radar, able to see stealth jets as if they weren't even hidden. The stealth advantage of today? Gone. And it doesn't stop there. Unlike the F-47, which still relies on a pilot, 7th-gen fighters will operate autonomously. These jets won't just follow code. They'll think, adapt, and learn in real time. AI co-pilots with flawless memory, instant reflexes, and the power to command swarms of drones like an airborne army. Picture one fighter directing hundreds of unmanned wingmen, overwhelming defenses through sheer numbers while staying beyond enemy reach. The pilot, if there even is one, might sit in a secure bunker thousands of miles away. Of course, building such machines isn't easy. Sustained Mach 5 flight melts steel. The solution lies in metamaterials and advanced ceramics, substances engineered at the molecular level to survive extreme heat, even heal themselves when damaged. China's White Emperor program already hints at these capabilities. The US and Russia are racing to keep pace. Whoever wins this race doesn't just control the skies, they control the future of warfare. The next generation of warplanes won't just dominate the skies, they'll conquer space. Photos from Chinese test facilities already show designs unlike any traditional fighter. Flatter, broader, built for hypersonic flight. Russia, despite setbacks in Ukraine, pushes ahead with its PKTP program, aircraft meant to operate in space. Yes, fighters that can leave Earth's atmosphere. 7th-generation jets won't be bound by air alone. They'll fly in space, deploy satellites, intercept enemy craft, and strike targets anywhere on Earth within minutes. Their weapons? Not missiles, but directed energy. High-powered lasers to burn through missiles, fry electronics, and hit with surgical precision. To power them, concepts range from compact fusion reactors to futuristic batteries, still on the drawing board. Electronic warfare will leap forward, disrupting radar, jamming comms, even launching cyber attacks mid-flight. Stealth won't just hide them from radar. It'll cloak them from heat, sound, sensors, even the human eye, with adaptive camouflage and active cooling systems. Manufacturing will change everything. Instead of assembly lines, 3D and even 4D printing will create components that adapt after production. Wings reshaping mid-flight, armor flexing on demand. Maintenance will be predictive, self-repairing, with crews printing parts on the battlefield. And the pilot? If there is one, they'll act more like a commander, overseeing AI systems that handle tactical execution with superhuman precision. Navigation and communications will move beyond GPS and encryption. Quantum systems will make them invincible, unbreakable, untouchable. The timeline? Experts predict the 2050s, but breakthroughs in AI, quantum tech, and materials could bring them sooner. The cost? Astronomical, far beyond the trillion-dollar F-35 program. No single nation can do it alone. Alliances will be the only way forward. The stakes? Global dominance. Nations that master 7th-gen fighters won't just control the skies. They'll shape the future of power on Earth and beyond. The future of air combat isn't coming. It's already being built, and it could change the balance of global power forever. But there's a darker side to consider. These weapons are so powerful, they could destabilize international relations. If one nation pulls ahead, it might be tempted to act before rivals catch up. History shows this often sparks arms races and even wars. The ethical dilemmas are just as heavy. Should machines be trusted to make life and death decisions without human control? Today's military doctrine requires human authorization for lethal force, but seventh-generation fighters may move too fast for that. No matter how advanced, AI only follows programming and data. It doesn't understand morality, context, or long-term consequences. Handing it autonomous kill authority would fundamentally change warfare. International law isn't ready for this. Environmental impact also matters. These fighters are being designed with sustainability in mind. Hydrogen or biofuel engines, cleaner manufacturing, 3D printing, and modular parts that can be recycled. Training will be transformed too. If pilots are still in the cockpit, they'll need to master AI systems, quantum physics, and even space operations. VR and AI-driven simulations will prepare them for scenarios too dangerous or impossible to replicate in real life. Support and logistics will be complex. These aircraft will need specialized facilities, secure supply chains, and ironclad cybersecurity to stop hackers from exploiting weaknesses. Their very presence on the battlefield could crush enemy morale, but overconfidence is dangerous. History proves tech advantages never last forever. Training, leadership, and logistics remain just as vital as the machines themselves. With global tensions rising, seventh-generation development takes on urgent meaning. The US, China, Russia, and Europe are all racing forward. Smaller nations will rely on partnerships to stay in the game. The outcome could decide who dominates the skies for decades. But this isn't only about war. Military breakthroughs often reshape civilian life. The internet, GPS, advanced materials, and space technologies all came from defense research. Seventh-generation programs could spark similar revolutions in energy, manufacturing, and even medicine. The real question is, will these fighters bring stability or push the world closer to conflict? Will they justify their massive costs or end up as failed promises? What's certain is this: the race has already begun. These aren't upgrades, they're revolutions. The nation that masters seventh-generation fighters will hold power that could reshape the world for generations. So what do you think? Are these machines the future of security or the start of new dangers? Let us know in the comments. This is confirmed by the dozens of concept art pieces of the NGAD tailless aircraft presented, including those from Boeing itself. Granted, no one has canceled the good old propaganda aimed at confusing enemies with an incorrect visualization of the future fighter. For example, canards located near the nose of the fighter are unlikely to reach a live craft, and by mid-April of this year, Air Force representatives themselves told Air and Space Forces magazine that the previously presented images should be taken with a large dose of skepticism. Another undeniable aspect of the F-47 was the presence of a pilot in the cockpit, while Elon Musk and other tech bros tirelessly tell everyone around them that small drones are about to replace conventional aircraft. Aviation insiders and experts are convinced of the opposite. For example, Aviation Week Group editor Bill Sweetman said whatever one's view of the F-22, it can't be replaced by a quadcopter. The decision on manned capability will definitely making GAD a little less popular among enthusiasts than at the start of the program, when the discussion was among other things about an unmanned version of the sixth-generation fighter. But even something as trivial as a communications failure in the case of an AI pilot at the control speaks of the unenviable fate of a fighter. Reflecting on this, Justin Bronk, a senior research fellow for airpower and technology at the UK-based defense think tank Royal United Services Institute, stated, "Human pilots can be trusted, but few want to see autonomous fighters making life or death decisions." He also added that fighters with the crew have obvious disadvantages: cost, training, and the need to rescue a downed crew. But in his opinion, relying on AI right now would be an unjustifiably bold step. References and discussions of the F-47's engine, Sweetman says, suggesting aircraft of impressive size with an Equally impressive range, somewhat reminiscent of the aging F-111 Arbor. Variable geometry bombers that were the Air Force's mainstay from the 1960s to the 1990s. The focus is on next-generation adaptive cycle turbine engines, which are being fought over by two competing designs from Pratt & Whitney and General Electric. They have the revolutionary ability to change the amount of air bypassing the engines. Compressor in flight, typically a high ratio of air bypassing a turbofans. Compressor maximizes fuel efficiency, while a low ratio improves performance. Modern jet fighters invariably choose the latter over the benefits of the former, but with an adaptive cycle system, you can now have your cake and eat it too. An F-47 can cruise efficiently through the battle space in high bypass mode. Loitering is needed, and then switch to low bypass mode to deliver peak performance, reaching speeds over Mach 2 when combat demands it, plus all that extra electrical power that the NGAD fighter awesome engines can provide is something hardly anyone would complain about. The U.S. Air Force is hard at work developing combat lasers for its aircraft, so we may well see one of these in action as early as the 2030s. Now it's your turn to tell us what changes in the NGAD program we forgot to mention. Share your opinion in the comments below.